Have you heard about the drama regarding Mexico's new president and the King of Spain? Hashtag escándalo. Well, I'm going to get right into it. But first, hola, me llamo Everett y bienvenido a Enrollo News. It all started with former President Andrés Manuel López Obrador. I think that's his name. In 2019, he sent a letter to the Spanish crown asking them, like, hey, will you issue a public apology for all the atrocities you guys committed when trying to colonize Mexico? And I quote, the so-called conquest was accomplished with the sword and the cross. Thousands of people were during this period. A culture was imposed, one civilization on top of another, to the point where Catholic churches were constructed on top of temples of pre-Hispanic people. Ay, Dios mío. Listen, I have Spanish background for those who don't know, but I stand with Mexico on that one. Completely agree. Well, when it came time to inaugurate Mexico's first female president, Claudia went on to say, and I quote, regrettably, this letter did not merit any direct response as would have corresponded to diplomatic best practices. Read. Although the two countries share a solid friendship, a successful bilateral relationship will require a renewed historical perspective. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Now, in 2019, when Spain received the letter from former President López Obrador, they rebuffed the demands, with government officials telling journalists that they should not be held responsible for what other people did in the past. Now, mind you, this isn't the first time that a monarch has apologized to another nation for what their predecessors did, so it's not uncommon. They're not asking for a lot. Now, mind you, King Felipe doesn't really have a fight in this because it's not really... How can I say this? It's more so the Spanish government's refusal. And I don't necessarily know, obviously we do know that Felipe is a constitutional monarch, but I'm not familiar with Spain's constitution in terms of how the monarch can operate. I don't know if it's similar to the British or not. But obviously it's looking like we're gonna save face. López Obrador said that they, meaning the Spanish government, acted with a lot of arrogance. He's urging them to put racism aside and take responsibility for what they did. Well, not they, but the former people did. And quote, what does it cost them to offer an apology? End quote. And very much so true. Because he is actually from southern Mexico, which is home to the country's largest indigenous population. So this is directly affecting him. Though there are critics who have pointed out that his grandfather, or one of his grandfathers, was born in Spain, but I mean, that's not his fault. So therefore, when she was inaugurated yesterday, October 1st, who was not there? Not a stitch of a Spanish government representative. They said, we're not sending anybody because you snubbed our king. And in a statement in late September, she said she decided to exclude King Felipe from her inauguration because Spain never responded directly to López Obrador, oh my gosh, I'm sorry, the request from 2019. Ay, Dios mío. España debería disculparse wholeheartedly. And if you've made it this far, hashtag scandal. And if you're Spanish speaking, hashtag escándalo. And as always, comment your thoughts below. Do you think Spain should apologize? Do you think King Felipe should just be like, look, I'm going to apologize whether you guys like it or not because it's the right thing to do? Is Mexico asking for too much? I don't think so, honestly. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Gracias por ver. Bye. Adios. Mwah.